What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we are going to be talking about Raid Buggy. It's not really classified as a clash, but this is essentially like a raid version of Buggy. Now, we'll talk about the unit in just a little bit, but this event is structured in a pretty odd way. So first of all, there is a 20, a 30, and a 50 stamina island. I suggest farming 50 stamina because you'll get a lot better drops there. You'll get a bunch of skill books for the character, a bunch of copies, and remember, it is 5 times skill up right now, which will give you plenty of opportunity to max him out. Also, make sure to limit break him before you start feeding copies so you can rainbow the character out as well. But after you complete the 50 stamina difficulty, you actually unlock this event island where you can actually get your hands on some limit break materials. Now, in order to actually beat this, it is suggested that you actually go ahead and use the Buggy specifically. There's like a secondary event, and it does mention that if you use Buggy, the new farmed up Buggy, in this event, you get like a bunch of extra drops. So what does this actual Buggy do? So this Buggy is a pretty good unit overall. He is an int driven slasher, and it's actually classified as a crew unit. So you know, one side is Buggy, the other side is Kabaji and Moji and Richie. So they each have pretty similar captain effects, but Buggy specifically is a rainbow 2.5 attack and then 1.2 health, and then boost his own attack by 2.75 times and gives you a chance at dupe dropping an item at the end of the run. So that's really cool, right? Another dupe dropping captain and a relatively decent multiplier on top of that as well for a dupe dropping captain, because typically, you know, those types of captains have really low multipliers. Now, as for the other side, the Kabaji, Moji, and Richie, they are just a flat 2.5 attack, 1.2 health, and then int slots are beneficial to your entire team. And then, of course, they give you the chance for the dupe drop. And then their fully combined form, they are a 3 times rainbow captain with 1.2 health, 3.25 times attack to himself, and then int orbs are beneficial to your team, as well as giving you the extra chance to drop a dupe item. Now, when you switch, use their switch effect, it's a pretty good switch effect, honestly. So it will go ahead and give a 1.2 times color affinity to driven and slasher characters for 1 turn, and then also gives himself a beneficial slot, or a matching slot, really, which is great. Really good switch ability to give you free color affinity with a free unit. As for his special though, 12 turn max cooldown, reduces all enemies damage nullification by 2 turns, which is very good. He does 100,000 fixed damage to all enemies, delays all enemies by 2 turns, changes G, bomb, and badly matching slots into matching, and then they fully combine into their dual unit for 3 turns. So across the board, he's a pretty good unit, and the thing is he's just okay, but like, he's not a unit you're going to use all the time, of course, and luckily the event itself is actually pretty easy, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. And of course, we do have the ranking style event, the co-op event with the sea monster out right now as well, so I know it's going to be kind of difficult to try and balance your time between this Buggy and that co-op event, but if you do have the extra time, you can go ahead and farm up this Buggy, who is relatively easy to do, and then you can focus back on the co-op mission. But either way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this Clash Buggy event. So talking about the Clash Buggy now, this event is pretty easy, honestly. The only real thing that you have to take into consideration when entering this fight is that on stage 3, you're going to get inflicted with some blind. On stage 4, you're going to get inflicted with paralysis. And then on stage 5, you have to deal with the enemy having resilience, and you also are inflicted with some special bind. So this team that I have right here, this is the team that I used to farm the event, although I did actually change one of the units out. In the next team you guys are going to be seeing, it's very similar to this team, but I do make a replacement, which makes the team infinitely better. So, Coliseum Neko Mamashi, don't bring him. Bring the Sai Zoro Juro event character. He's a free-to-play unit. He's really good for this. You can use him on the Moji and Richie stage to remove the paralysis. It's like way better. But basically what you have to know is you're not allowed to use an attack booster on the final boss stage, because if you do, he removes your beneficial effects. So that's the one thing you have to know there. But you can literally do anything else. You can cut his health, you can apply an orb boost, you can color affinity, you can do whatever you want. You just can't use an attack boosting effect. So that's not that big of a deal. But obviously with Kaido, we've got Coliseum Hody for removing the special bind and a health cut. We've got the Cracker for another health cut, and the 2 Kaido specials again for another health cut. And with all of those health cuts against the enemy, Kaido's end of turn damage is going to do more than enough to KO all the enemies through the resilience buffs, which makes this fight very easy. The next team is very similar to the team we just showed. However, instead of using Kaido as the captain, we're going to use Jack as the captain this time. And this time around, I do put Zoroark as a sub, which is significantly better to remove the paralysis. But essentially, the team works in the same way, just doing a lot of health cuts on the final stage and allowing Kaido to end off with the end of turn damage. And this team allows you to get a little more EXP. This team in particular, though, does take it a little slower on this fight, so it will be a little bit slower. I would probably suggest using double Kaido, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Remember, it is 5 times skill up, right? So basically it's a guaranteed skill up when you have the copies in the skill book, so I would say farm this straight away while 5 times skill up is active, so that you can just get it out of the way and you can focus on other things a little later on. So that's what I would suggest. And if you do want a little more EXP, then running the Jack and Kaido team is probably the way to go. But I'll see you guys once we get a little further into the video where we discuss 2 more teams. So now we're talking about V3 lore. Now, honestly, you shouldn't use this team. You should not use any team that does not have a Kaido friend captain, because you're literally wasting your time. It is so much faster just to use a Kaido friend captain. You don't even need double Kaido. Just as long as you have one of your friend captains being Kaido, it makes your life a whole lot easier. So I would suggest do not follow my lead with utilizing other teams, but I wanted to show you guys just some other teams that are able to clear it, but once again, as I said, you shouldn't do it. Also, we are using the Luffy on this team, and I do use his special in the final boss stage, and I really don't know why I did it, because he's an attack booster. So if you are going to use this team, which I don't suggest, don't use the Luffy special in the final boss stage, because remember, it is an attack boost. Buggy will remove all beneficial effects. But the Luffy is good on this team, because with Law and Luffy, we can then apply the support effects of Rayleigh and Corazon to remove all turns of the paralysis, which does make it a little easier. And then we've got the switch ability of the Akainu and Fujitora to give us the end of turn damage, which will actually kill the enemy through the resilience buff, which is very good, right? We've also got Colosseum Hody to remove the beneficial effects, or to remove the special bind, sorry. And also we have the Elizabello, which I used a little earlier on to kill off the mobs on stage 3. But pretty self-explanatory team, and I'll talk to you guys once we get to the final team of the video. So the last team is Luffy Zoro, and once again, you shouldn't really be utilizing this team. Again, as I said, I keep reiterating, just use Kaido friend captain. It makes it so much easier. But either way, here's another team that can clear a free spirit slasher team. So important units here. We've got Karina as a rare recruit here, which is pretty cool because her special will not only give us some beneficial slots on the last stage, but it will also remove the resilience on the enemies, which makes our damage very good, right? Obviously, the 2 specials of Luffy and Zoro are going to do significant damage on stage 4 and stage 5. We've also got the Boa Hancock to give us color affinity on the final stage. Not really required, but just a really decent filler unit. Then we've also got Karasu to remove the special bind, which gets inflicted on stage 5. And then obviously version 1 Rayleigh to remove the paralysis, which gets inflicted here on stage 4. So it's pretty straightforward, as I said, but once again, I really wouldn't suggest building a team like this. Just use Kaido. Just use Kaido. It's so much easier. But anyways, that is going to conclude this video today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to get Buggy done. It is 5 times skill up. Best opportunity to get it done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. And if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
turn.